Welcome back. Our socials at KBC Channel 1, my Twitter handle at Tomboy24. Now, on the eve of Jamhuri Day, the year was 2016, a tanker carrying petroleum products rammed into a multiple of oncoming vehicles and burst into flames. Among those burnt beyond recognition were 11 General Service Unit officers. Tonight, we feature the man who was the Director of National Disaster Operations Center at the time and who coordinated that rescue mission. Here is Colonel Retired Nathan Macharia Kigotho's story on this week's episode of Military Tales.
Colonel Retired Nathan Macharia Kigotho had barely been 1 year out of military and in retirement when he was recalled in April of 2012 and contracted to be the director of the National Disaster Operations Center.
Which is a center that is headed, it is under Ministry of Interior, but it is always headed by a military colonel. So I was lucky to be selected to become the director there. And this is based in Young House under the Ministry of Interior.
9:30 p.m. Saturday, 11th of December, the year 2016.
When I heard on the radio that a very bad accident has occurred in Naivasha. They just said a bad accident and it has some vehicles are on fire.
A tanker carrying petroleum products from Mombasa to Kampala rammed into a multiple of oncoming vehicles and burst into flames.
When we got all the details that we had managed to put together, a team was sent to Naivasha to go and do a ground assessment. While the others, I was left behind because I needed to brief Principal Secretary and the Minister, and of course it was going to go all the way to the highest office in the land.
Scores of motorists heading to Nairobi were caught up in the Saturday evening tragedy, a majority being burnt beyond recognition.
And we did a lot of coordination, trying to get people to bring in those that had already burnt, and they organized with Chirombo how they were going to be received, how each of them was going to be kept as a package until we decide what was going on. Eventually, we decided that we must bring in the people from government chemists so that they can be able to help and taking DNA samples. And I myself that time was very busy even holding press conferences to tell and calm the population.
Among those killed were 11 GSU officers from the elite Recce unit who are returning to Nairobi after escorting the then President Uhuru Kenyatta on his tour of Bomet County when they were caught up in the accident.
And we had to bring in the people from government chemists and do DNA tests and match all those bodies of those who had perished in that accident.
Colonel Kigotho worked at the Disaster Operations Center for 5 years between 2012 and 2017.
It was a very, very hectic time because the disasters that I had to manage were very many.
Earlier that year, on the 29th of April 2016, a 6-story building collapses in Huruma in Eastlands, Nairobi, following heavy rains and subsequent flash floods, leaving tens dead and scores injured.
It had come down and it was just next to Nairobi River. So it had been built on some, what we would say, some very unshaky ground. We went there. The first thing we would do is to go and cordon off the area because the rayas, everybody wants to go and help, and sometimes they are doing things without any order and all that. So we brought in, we tried and save those that were not so badly off and made sure they were taken to hospital by ambulances. And by the following morning, we had mobilized a lot of big heavy machines to come, and we were going to engage them to do the rescue.
The then President Uhuru Kenyatta visited the site of the collapse and ordered an immediate survey of all the houses in the area and the subsequent arrest of the owners of the buildings which had been condemned by the authorities.
It was clear that the construction work had been very, very shoddy, very poor mix of the concrete mixture, and the county said he did not even have, the owner had not, or the developer had not been given any approvals by the county.
Nathan Macharia Kigotho's time in the military, that stretched over a duration of 33 years, began with interest that was sparked off in his time at Murang'a High School.
The team that specifically came to Murang'a was from the Air Force, and they gave us a lot of understanding of what goes on, the need for educated people who can be trained. I was attracted to join the armed forces right from high school.
Kigotho joined the Air Force in the year 1978 as a second lieutenant.
I left in 2017, and from there on, I'm civilian and doing my own small things here and there. Some consultants work on disaster management, on security matters, and a little farming, and playing golf once in a while to keep myself fit.
Colonel retired Nathan Macharia Kigotho's story is unique in that it highlights the government's function in its working towards building back a better Kenya after disaster through the National Disaster Operations Center, where he was the director for 5 years. Reporting from Kiambu Township in Kiambu County, I'm Nisi Emmanuel.